Well, good evening and welcome, everybody. My name is Dave Moyer. I'm the superintendent of schools. Great to see you all here. Unlike the travel baseball teams I've coached, we actually have more student participants than we have adults, so that's great. Sometimes you see these teams with 12 players and 18 coaches or something like that, so great for the kids, because that's why we're here. Our school district has a proud tradition of excellence in the fine arts. And tonight we're privileged to be reminded why. I have a son who was a musical theater major at Syracuse and is a dancer in New York, so sometimes dreams do come true. In other cases, such as mine, you're just a wannabe drummer. Regardless, music touches everyone and is a gift from the heavens. We're privileged to share this gift tonight, so sit back and enjoy.
Good evening, I'm Diana Smith. I'm the principal here at York High School, and it's my pleasure to welcome all of you, parents and grandparents and family members, but most of all, we're so pleased to welcome all of the students that are here tonight. What happens here, District Orchestra Festival, it's really extraordinary. It's extraordinary to look around and see a gym full of young and older who all are joined by our love of the arts. This is the perfect week to be here because it's York Fine Arts Week. So this week, it's a favorite for the York students and the staff because night and day we're celebrating the arts. But today isn't about York. It's about the blue of the district, thinking about this as really the best of what we show as a community and as a district. Every child deserves to be participating in a fine, wonderful arts program like this. Not every child has that opportunity. It happens here in this community because we have amazing, talented young people who are supported by parents who are believers in the music and know the benefits, who are inspired by teachers, by our amazing teachers. Can we have a round of applause for all of the music teachers that are here tonight? We are so lucky, but also to live in a community and have a Board of Education that supports the arts. We're so very fortunate. I wanted to take just a second. I just had the pleasure of meeting some parents who have a fourth grader who's here. So I believe our youngest students, our youngest musicians tonight are 10. So may I ask, not the students, you need to stay where you are, but if you are the parent of a fourth grader, would you please stand so we can welcome you to your first festival? And now, and this one's going to be a little more emotional for me, we also, on the other end of the spectrum, just want to welcome our parents of our seniors who are here, at least for their senior child, for the final orchestra performance. And senior parents, would you please stand so we can recognize you? And now for the most important thing, to hear our beautiful musicians. Welcome to York. Enjoy the evening. Thank you so much.
Again, welcome and thank you for coming this evening. We really appreciate you being here, and mostly we appreciate the amazing accomplishments of our students, young and less young. What a joy it is to work with them day in and day out. They've learned, before they're at York High School, the value of hard work, the results from regular practice, from focus, concentration, repetition, goals, short-term, long-term, and it truly is a joy. I thank you as parents for having these wonderful children. Wow, we're having some fun too. I tell you, and that last piece they just grabbed right onto. Sure, we'll do that. We'll go out there. We'll march out a little bit, do a little strolling, memorize something. There are too many thank yous to put in an 8-page program, and too many to list here. I want to highlight a few. I'll ask you to hold your applause for a bit. Certainly, all of my colleagues here with the orchestras, Ms. Savatieri, Ms. Gary, Ms. Scott. We want to thank all of the instrumental directors, band, orchestra here from grades 4 through 8. I certainly want to thank our student teacher for the first semester who drove up here from the University of Illinois to continue contributing and celebrating with us, Ms. Pagonis. We want to thank my colleagues here at York High School, without whom we could never coordinate something like this, logistics and otherwise. Certainly want to thank Principal Smith, our administration here at York High School, Drew McGuire, helping out with so many things, our maintenance people, as you can imagine, the logistics of something like this going on, and all that they do. Volunteers of many forms. Many of you are a part of the EIMB, the Music Boosters in the elementary and grades 4-8, and we thank you for that work and the scholarships provided for students to continue and enhance their study in the summertime through that group. Also, our York Music Parents Association, a wonderful volunteer group many of you are a part of, and I know many of you will be in the future. We want to thank them for all that they do helping us out. We also had specific volunteers relative to this event, parents helping with tuning, some of our high school students helping tune the younger students during the day today and this evening. Also, some of the high school students helping out with moving chairs, stands, doing setup after school yesterday, before school today, during parts of their lunch periods or study halls. And we want to do a special thank you to all of them, certainly. As you saw on a page in your program, we have a special recognition we celebrate all through this year. And that is our own Barbara Scott in the Churchville area orchestras. And I will in a moment give you the opportunity to recognize her with her own applause. But after 31 phenomenal years of teaching the Churchville area orchestras, she was recognized this year, the only string teacher, orchestra director, school orchestra teacher in the state of Illinois, recognized with the Illinois American String Teachers Association Teacher of the Year Award. And we celebrate her accomplishments, the so many lives that she's changed over the years and enhanced, and we wish her well. We don't like the word retirement. That's really an ending. She moves on in transition to another phase of her life and all of her interests. And I do right now, though, want to let us all give a big thank you to Ms. Barbara Scott. And whether or not you have students in the Churchville area orchestras, we cordially invite and encourage all of you to attend Friday, May 20th, the final concert for Miss Scott in that area. And that'll be pretty special. That'll be pretty special. But back to this very special night. There's nothing really like it. The reflecting of the parents of the older students and the older students themselves. That's a part of that, what can be accomplished when you put yourself into it. And that reflection, those parents remembering back in the day, and all of you witnessing the progression in a space of 55 minutes from here to there and what's happening here. We gathered in a similar fashion back in the second semester of 2013 and 2011. Some of you were here. Some of you were here in 2009. We did it there too. And for that, some of you heard some words similar to this, but I'm going to share a little bit of it one more time because I just think it's that important. We never want to lose sight of what the students are doing, what they're accomplishing, the multiple things they're doing at once. I often am fond of saying, all we ask is that you do about 15 things simultaneously. That's all we're asking. But we ask it because they can. They do it. They've learned this notation of dots and dashes and lines and symbols on the page. They've also learned Italian terms. And in the later years, French terms and German terms, abbreviations for Italian and German and French terms. And they're translating those and acting upon them all the time. They've learned this skill involving every finger, every joint of the wrists and the knuckles and the elbows and the shoulders, simultaneously working together to make this string vibrate that makes some wood vibrate, that amplifies itself. They're listening to their own sounds and adjusting constantly. They're listening to their section and matching and adjusting. They're listening to the other sections of the orchestra. There's one of us up front giving them sign language. They've learned that too. They're reacting to that. The louder, the softer, the slow down, the cutoff, the begin, the new tempo. All of this constantly assessing in a fraction of a second, adjusting, problem solving, decision making. And yes, this helps everything that they do. Everything else they do in life. Exercises the brain, strengthens pathways in the brain, builds new pathways in the brain. And it's phenomenal. But the fact that it helps everything else they do shouldn't be confused with the reason we do it. Because the reason we do it is the music and the child. Those are great benefits. But as Ms. Smith mentioned earlier this evening, every student should not only have the opportunity to study the fine arts in their chosen area, be it a string instrument, a wind instrument, the voice, the theater, the poetry, the sculpture, the painting, the dance, whatever it is, they should not only have the opportunity, they should be doing it. In the same way that we all have a body and our health and our physical activity, and we need to be aware of that. And we all deal with a language, and we should be reading it and writing it and hearing it and speaking it. And we all deal with science and math, and we should be knowledgeable and working with it. We all should be doing music. And I'm glad all of our students are in the elementary years. And I would wish, in the perfect world, that every high school student would be doing it as well in their chosen area and studying the music. And as was mentioned earlier, Elmhurst is a wonderful place where many, many appreciate and do that. It doesn't happen automatically. It's a combination of the community, the voters, the school board, the administration, the tradition, and it's all happening here. It's not a guarantee, so we do have a little bit of homework for the audience. If you remember your assignment from years ago, I think you've been doing it. For those in the audience, we're very thankful to our friends at Comcast who are doing a professional recording and video that will be produced and available to see on the website as well as on the local cable access channel. We're very grateful for that. We're also grateful for any of the media that gave some coverage to this. I say that sincerely, knowing, of course, there are a lot of things going on in the world, and this event isn't necessarily going to appear on the front page or the news or a lot of social media blasts. But your homework is to share what you've seen, share what your child is doing, share what they're gaining with someone who's not here tonight. It's not a bad assignment. In the next 48 hours, tell someone who's not here how great it is that your sons and daughters can do this. Now, for the overachievers in the crowd, and I know who you are, I've met your children. Share that with a principal, a school board member, someone in another district where perhaps the fine arts aren't offered as far in depth as they are here. The assessment, we're all about assessment. And by the way, there's no skirting an authentic assessment in what these students are doing it. They're doing it. It's right there. You can see it. You can hear it. It gets better. They can tell. Your assessment on that assignment is when their children are their age. Are the opportunities still there? You keep that word going. Keep voting. Keep making your voices heard. keep spreading the good word, and it will be for their children and their children's children as well. I want to, again, thank you for being here. Mention that the next piece we're going to do features a subset of the York Orchestras, our Symphony Orchestra Strings, and has two soloists featured, on violin, Ellie Chu, and on viola, Leah Widmeyer, soloists on this, and then we'll end with all the students making music together. Thank you so much for being here. Keep on the support. We are grateful for you. We're grateful for the community, and we look forward to gathering together again soon. Have a great evening.
Have you visited the Elmhurst Public Library lately? The Kids Library is a wonderful place. When not being used for library programs and classes, Elmhurst Public Library cardholders can reserve the meeting rooms. The second floor is where you can find the adult and teen collections. An enclosed area, devoted to high school students, provides space to create, play, share, and study together. Use our computers, or bring your own, to our work-friendly business center. Technology classes for all expertise levels are taught in the computer lab. High-quality audio and visual equipment in the Creative Studio gives you the opportunity to create, record, make, and invent. You can produce real items with the 3D printer and poster printer. Study rooms provide space for studying on your own or working with others. The larger gathering room is available to reserve by Elmhurst Public Library cardholders. Our convenient book drop and drive-up window make picking up and returning library materials a breeze. Don't forget, Elmhurst Public Library is always open online at elmhurstpubliclibrary.org.